Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sterling, and we continue to follow tonight the severe winter storm that's impacting tens of thousands all over the region. Snow piling up, strong winds are making it very challenging for the people hit the roads tonight. For instance, this city bus stuck in the snow between Madison and Cherry. This was earlier tonight at about 8. Thousands also dealing with outages, and it may take crews hours before the power is restored. One of the most impacted areas is in the city of Wyoming. We have team coverage for you tonight. News 8's Taylor Morris will have some tips for you to stay safe in the storm. And although you can't see him on camera, Kyle Mitchell keeping an eye on the road conditions for us. Meteorologist Blake Harms will tell us what the weekend holds. But we begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Ellen Baca.
Yeah, we've been seeing the snow stack up, and right now we have a bit of a lull at this point in time, especially south of Grand Rapids. But the snow has not stopped in Grand Rapids proper. And the thing about this snow, as we expected, is it was really heavy with the high water content, and unfortunately it's sticking to a lot of the power lines and trees. Current scans of Storm Track Live still showing a pretty decent band that's stretching through Wayland at this point in time. Light to moderate snow on the north side of that band. But here's the thing that we're really watching now, the potential for wind gusts. We've had a bit of a lull in the wind that's been helpful for the plows to keep up and to catch up. But unfortunately, the wind looks like it's going to be rebuilding for us overnight tonight. Right now, if we look at the snowfall totals, many of us seeing close to about 6 inches of snow. We also included some of the snowfall totals from our viewers and spotters, trained spotters on the low end. And the low end is coming in around 3 inches. Still, the water content with the snow is quite high. So even if you just saw 3 inches, it's weighing everything down. Thank you for all the viewer reports. The snow has been pretty, but it really is pretty heavy. You can see that on our Lake Macatawa sky cam. And if we zoom out on our winds gust map, you can see upstream, attached to this storm, we have wind gusts that are coming in close to about 40 miles per hour for a solid area, and at times topping 40 miles per hour. This is the center of low pressure. It's going to swing into West Michigan overnight tonight, and it's going to drag in those really powerful gusts. So now that everything's heavy, we're expecting to get slammed with the wind. And with the change in the winds, we're also expecting a revamp of the snow. Quick check of the wind gust futurecast. There's 5 a.m. Unfortunately, as early as 5 a.m., we could see a resurgence of power outages. And this cold air is also going to be bringing even more snow. Blake's here to tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right, Ellen. So we're tracking that snow as the low continues to wrap around tonight. So here's Futurecast. There's the center of that low. As we head through the next several hours, we'll likely continue to see some patches of snow, especially along I-96. Areas to the south going to be in a lull over the next few hours. But then you see as this wraparound moisture works in, we see another burst of snow prior to daybreak tomorrow, and that's area-wide. That's followed by a transition to lake effect. Here's that band, and as winds begin to shift westerly, we'll start to see those lake effect bands impact more of West Michigan, and that's through much of the daytime hours on Saturday. Still looking like 10 to 14 inches. A few spots, especially down toward Kalamazoo, may come in on the low end of that range, but we're still anticipating significant accumulations. We're about halfway there already for most of the area. And again, this does include what's already fallen. We're then watching Saturday night into Sunday. We see a reinvigoration of lake effect, especially later on Saturday. This is through Saturday evening, and you'll notice these are some pretty intense bands with likely near zero visibility. Snow tomorrow is going to be much easier to blow around because it will be in the form of lake effect. Those showers likely continue well into Saturday night before gradually tapering off into the day on Sunday. We're tracking the possibility of an additional 6 to 8 inches on top of the snow that we're forecasting through the end of the day on Saturday. 6 to 8 inches possible in our favorite lake effect areas with a bit less further inland. So bottom line, Brian, we are still expecting impacts from this through the remainder of the weekend and into early next week. Ellen will have more on that in a few minutes.
All right, Blake and Ellen, thank you. Right now, we want to head to News 8's Kyle Mitchell. He has been following the road conditions for us for hours now, riding shotgun in a mobile news unit. Kyle, how are the roads? Is it getting any worse out there?
Brian, right now we are in downtown Grand Rapids at Rosa Parks Circle. You can see all the beautiful lights around here. Right now, it's not too bad in this location, but we keep seeing conditions changing. Not that long ago, we had that heavy, wet snow coming down in much bigger flakes. I think we're just currently in kind of a lull. It seems like the plow crews have done a pretty good job with downtown and keeping those main roads clear. When we've been out kind of throughout some of the neighborhoods throughout Grand Rapids, those side streets are still a little dicey. Some of the main roads can even be tough. You know, we saw earlier tonight on the north of 196 at College, saw 3 cars trying to get up a hill and just struggling. Several people out pushing those vehicles. So still not ideal to be out if you don't have to be out. Downtown is really looking pretty good. We have noticed, you know, the heated sidewalks and things like that helping keep some of the snow levels down as well. But if you have to, you know, go anywhere, try to take those main roads if you can at all possible. But if you can stay home and stay warm, that's probably your best bet. But yeah, this lull that Ellen has been talking about is we're still feeling it down here, and I think that might be ending pretty soon. We'll have to see in her weather forecast coming up when that lull will end and when we'll start seeing these snow amounts pick back up. We'll send it back to the studio.
Okay, Kyle Mitchell out on the roads tonight, a little dicey, but a lot of folks heeding that warning to stay home tonight. Kyle, thank you. Roads, not the only issues out there. Air travel, pretty much a no-go. You're looking at the Ford International Airport tonight. A majority of the flights there canceled today. We caught up with one man waiting for his wife and 17-month-old daughter to arrive from Florida today. And he was surprised that that flight was still arriving.
Well, my wife and my 17-month-old daughter are coming back from Florida. We did not think the flight would go or take off, and then she said they were at the airport and it was going, and I look at this board and everything's canceled except for, what, 2 flights. That's a red board. I still don't know how they're going to land, but I'm assuming they are.
And we're told that flight did make it in. For real-time updates on flights to and from the Ford, we've got a link where you can check on our website at woodtv.com. Now let's get out to News 8's Taylor Morris. Taylor's been outside all evening long in Grand Rapids, and she has some safety tips for folks who may be out driving or who have lost power. Taylor?
Hey, Brian. Yeah, we are currently in the Heritage Hill neighborhood right now in Grand Rapids. Lots of people right now are actually out shoveling the snow. I don't know if you can see behind me, but people have been working right here shoveling, salting the roads. And like we've been saying all night, the thing about this snow is it's very heavy and very wet. And we've seen that driving across Kent County tonight. A lot of the snow is just sticking to these power lines. But when it comes to staying safe during the storm, earlier we talked to the Kent County emergency management team, who says the biggest messages they are pushing today are, 1, staying off of the roads, and if the power does go out and you are using a generator, make sure to be extra cautious. Don't keep it in your garage, and make sure it's in a very well ventilated area. Also, if you do have to leave your house, make sure to have a flashlight, extra socks, water, blankets, and socks in your car. Also, flares, which is something you normally wouldn't think about. This is in case if you do end up in an accident or a ditch, to make sure you are visible to other cars.
So thankfully, we've been in very close communication with Consumers Energy. We've been working with them. They've been bringing us into their briefings, and so we've been able to get a look at what they're doing. I'll let them speak to that, only to say, though, that they've got a lot of mutual aid partners, and we expect to see some of those crews come in, depending on the need. If we start seeing outages and they start looking like they're more than what the local crews can handle, there are provisions in place, and those companies are working on that effort.
We will also be sure to keep you updated, of course, on air and online for the weather conditions. We also have a full list of warming centers across West Michigan on our website. Live in Grand Rapids, Taylor Morris, News 8.